Hey guys, and welcome. I am Sean in Alaska. Before we get started here, I got to agree with Joseph. Jim, I don't know what to tell you. Let me give you my condolences now because NFC, baby, NFC all the way. That and my brother Bart's an Eagles fan, so I got to root for the Eagles. I hope it's a good game. I hope because both teams are so evenly matched, and that's why it worked out really well. I wasn't going to go live today if, in fact, it was going to be during the game because I kind of want to watch this one because they look pretty well matched up. This could be a super great Super Bowl. Um, Having said that, it'll probably flop and be miserable. How you guys doing? I am Sean in Alaska. Welcome. Um, as you can tell, we're in the trailer today, and we're in the trailer today because we had a blizzard warning yesterday, and I pointed that out. But Jim at Woolly Rhino Adventures commented that it was for Homer. It is for Homer, but I was just thinking that if it's going to hit Homer, we're probably going to have some bad weather, and I don't know what's going to happen one way or the other. So I didn't feel like trudging all the equipment from here back to the cabin, from the cabin back to here when it was over, because I didn't know what I was going to run into at the end of this. And like I said, I want to watch the game when it's done, so I'll be streaming that as well. The way I usually do this is I say hello to everybody that jumped in. So I'll scroll back up to the top and do that. I like to answer everybody's comments. If I miss your comment, do me a favor, throw it in caps, ask it again. If I've already answered it, if somehow I got to it and answered it, don't worry about it. I'll just skip over it again the second time. But it's good to see you guys. Glad to have you here this week. Scrolling back up to the top, I had a bunch of people in here early. But I do want to say a special hello to Ashley and Jeremy. Thank you guys for joining today. Much appreciated. Loved your video. Now you got me rethinking what I'm going to do for my floor up in the loft because when I saw you put the floor in, I think that was Sam's room. It went in pretty easy. That's a pretty slick method to do a floor compared to what I'm planning on doing. I loved it. I loved it. If you guys are not subscribed to Ashley and Jeremy over at Mapleberry Farm Off Grid, you need to be because they're a ton of fun. They're an awesome couple, and they're building their second cabin off grid right now. Jeremy's a lot better at it than I am. I think Ashley's a lot better at it than I am too. So check them out for sure. Jump back up to the top. JD was in here first. JD, brother, good to see you, my friend. Glad you could make it. Liz Weekly, I know you're around somewhere, Liz. I think you were fixing dinner. You said you were running out. Doing fantastic. Glad you could be here. Lipstick Lodge, glad to have you in as well. Genova, good to see you. Things are going awesome. It's always a beautiful day in Alaska. It doesn't matter what the weather's like. It's always beautiful here. Oh, Joseph, you bounced in here. Kind of figured you were rooting for Philly, my friend. I kind of figured you were going there. I think you're from Philly. I think you're in Philly. You could probably hear the noise of the town while this game's going on. Charles and Annalyn, all the way from the Philippines. Good to have you guys in here today as well. And then, like I said, Jeremy and Ashley at MBF Off Grid. They are just, I can't say enough about how much I've learned just by watching those guys and how fun they are to watch on a regular basis. And I honestly think that there are times that they should have like a zoom in camera of Ashley's face when Jeremy says stuff, because there are times more than once during every video that I think Ashley wants to kill him. Marcus, good to see you, my friend. Glad you could make it. Jill, thanks for joining me this afternoon. It's awesome to have you here. Jess at Rain Dance Bushcraft, good to see you, brother. Alan, how are you today? Thank you for joining me. Nanny Goat Acres, all the way from Texas. Good to see you as well. The second largest state in the United States. And if we split into two in Alaska, you'll be the third. But you're up there in the top three no matter what happens. Don't worry about it. Bex, awesome to see you. Glad you could make it as well. I actually met her, I think, on Mapleberry Farms live chat. And her and I were mods way back when, and we're still mods today whenever they go live, which is super awesome. Rodney, thank you for joining me, my friend from Australia. Very cool. Happy Monday to you, right? Built on the Rock Homestead, good to see you. And as I said before, I am sorry, Jim. I am sorry. But I hope it's a good game. I hope it's a great game because both teams are awesome. Both teams are fantastic. I'm a Vikings fan, or I was for years. And I just want to say now that the reason the Minnesota Vikings have never won a Super Bowl is because they hate Green Bay so much that they don't want the Vince Lombardi trophy. Sarah, glad you could make it. Awesome to have you here. Thanks, guys. I do that intro at the beginning of it for those who are new here and want to know how come the live doesn't start right away. Is because there's always commercials that happen right at the beginning of any live when you start if you're not like a premium member. So this gets the live going. If you're in here when it starts, you're not going to miss anything. And I appreciate everybody who joins me for as long as you can. So don't feel obligated to have to stay for the whole thing at all. If you got stuff to do later on today, I greatly I understand it. And I greatly appreciate you being here. And that's the other reason why I did it, right? Seeing the cabin built when I started doing that at the end of my videos. And it, when you get, um, at least for me, when I get to doing something like this, and I've been doing it pretty hardcore since May of last year, sometimes I lose uh, the aspect of what I've done and where I'm at, and you get to feeling worn down, and man, I'm not making any progress. What the heck is going on here? And I started including those little pictures at the end of the videos, and every time I watch one, I get pretty motivated. I'm pretty fired up about it. It makes me feel better about what I've done, and it actually shows the progression all the way through, which is super, super cool. And I can't say this enough. All right, I'm scrolling down here. Remy at Rem's Family Homestead or Family Farm, how are you doing today? Richard Young, good to see you. Thank you for joining me today. Thomas Fry as well. Thanks for joining me this afternoon. We've got another Chiefs fan in here. It's Thomas. Nice. Jay and Jan, another great channel. Awesome, awesome people. The number of times, same thing. I don't know. Maybe it's just that whole couples dynamic, but there are more times than not. I think Jen wants to kill Jay, and you can just see her just shaking her head sometimes. Then you see Jay going, "Huh?" Glad you can make it, guys. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Matt, AK, good to see you, my friend. Thank you for joining me today. You hope both teams lose. Well, there we go. I don't know. That would have to be a pretty bad day for both of them to lose. Thank you very much. This cap right here was given to me by my grandfather when I was about 16 years old. So it's what? Well over 30 years old. Might be well over 40 years old. It is. I've had it for a long time. Scotty at Scotty's Backyard Barbecue. Watch Scotty's video today on poor man's burn ends, or as he calls them, chuck roast burn ends, or just burn ends. Awesome. They look delicious, man. They look fantastic. And as soon as I can dig the offset smoker out of the massive snow pile, it's buried about under 3 feet of snow right now. I'm gonna definitely do probably that before I do a brisket, because I could do that and eat that myself, or have a couple of guys over, maybe Todd and Ward, but I can't do a brisket without having 10 or 15 people over here. We got a guess on the score, 28-24 for the Chiefs, but you hope you're wrong. Oh, I forgot to put this up too. Let me throw this up real quick. There we go. Got my little banner going. Russell at Raspberry Rock Off Grid. You're still counting the Cowboys to make a daring comeback. Last night on his live, or no, Friday night on the Books Fest live, that was him and City Girl talking about it's going to happen. Dallas is going to make a surprising comeback, and they're going to win the Super Bowl. If they pull that off, sir, you're a genius. You're in the wrong trade if they pull that off. Sipping on my tea here. Uh-oh. Where'd I lose you at? Man, that was way up here. Somehow I got to the bottom of the screen. Hang on. There we go. No standards. Nice, right? Clearly, look who's moderating. Lord Vader. Good to have you here, Darth. Nice to see you. Trail Camp Pete, thank you for joining me today. Awesome to have you here, as always. Okay, good. I thought that was Sam's room. I can't wait to see you guys trim that in. I left a comment on there today because I absolutely despise sheetrock. And the reason I absolutely despise sheetrock is not because it's not an incredible surface to work on. It's taping and texturing. And I am absolutely terrible at it. I have played around with it in the past in houses that I've owned and lived in, and I despise it. But when you guys said that you're not going to bother with any of that, you're just going to trim it out, I thought, that's pretty much genius. That is genius. So, yeah, I want to see you guys get that finished. Todd, what's happening, brother? Good to see you. Eves, how are you? Todd, I haven't seen you since the mailbox. What, about an hour ago? Oh, see, right here. Right? You're damn good, Sean, and fine looking to boot. I love you too, Ashley. My heart to you. Thank you. Trudy, you made it. I got to tell you guys a story because this is kind of funny. And the weather's we're actually got some pretty clear skies out here right now, but the wind is starting to kick up. So I got a message on last week's live this morning before I had even set this live up from Trudy saying, I finally made a live. And she was looking at her time, and I had to message her back and say, no, Trudy, It's 1 o'clock Alaska time, 5 p.m. Eastern. That was last week's live. But Trudy, I'm glad you made one. Awesome to have you here. Lone Wolf. Yeah, I'm in the trailer today, mainly because, and I'll touch over it again for anybody who just joined in. Homer's under a blizzard warning. They're not that far away from us. I didn't know what kind of weather we were going to have, and I didn't feel like carting all of the computer gear into the trailer or into the cabin. And then when it was over, carting all that back from the cabin back into the trailer, because that's what I have to do right now. And not knowing what the weather was going to be like when I was going to have to do that. And if I can keep the electronics out of the weather, I always want to. That, and I'm going to watch the game when it's done today. So yeah, we're live from the trailer today. I'll give you a different perspective, right? There's not much to see in the cabin. I mean, I got done what I wanted to get done this week. I got the subfloor completely replaced up in the loft. So it's all sheeted down, 3/4 inch plywood. That'll be next week's video. And it looks nice. Oh, it really turned out well. And now I'm having a dilemma over my plans for the stairs. But I'll let that play out on video because I took some measurements today, and what I was going to do, I'm having an issue with. So we'll just leave it at that. Mike, glad you could make it. Awesome to see you. I'm doing fantastic. Warm in Ontario, Canada. Very cool. Very nice. Good attitude about the weather, right? It's winter. Just enjoy. It's over soon, right? I figure I got, at the worst, I've got the entire month of March, but the temperatures will be moving up. And then we're back into a thaw again. So I'm on the backside of it right now. I'm very happy with that. And we were not that cold. We were not that cold at all. Ward, what's happening, brother? Good to see you. Jerry McKenzie, good to see you as well. Glad you can make it today. Vincenza, man, you're up late from the UK. Awesome to see you, my friend. Are you staying up for the game? Are you going to watch the game today? I don't know how big of a deal that is outside of North America. You know, the football, the Super Bowl. So if you're outside of North America, let me know if you're watching the game and if it's a big deal where you live. And Joseph says he's currently in the Pocono Mountains of Pennsylvania with your girlfriend. Valentine vacation. Very cool. And for those that didn't see it, I wish I could post it on here right now. There's a Valentine's thing that I do every year because I'm a giver. And when this is over, I'm going to go ahead and I'll post it on the community tab so that you can see the kind of stuff that I do for other people at Valentine's Day. I also have a Thanksgiving special and a Christmas special. And I'm working on a New Year's one as well. But I'll post that on the community tab when we're done, just to give you guys an idea of what kind of giver I am. Art, good to see you, my friend. Awesome. Rodney says it's Monday morning at 9:05, hot and humid. That's your summer. It's our winter, right? I've got a cousin who lives in New South Wales, Goolagong, New South Wales. So family in Australia. I'm Irish. Go figure, right? Grace, glad you can make it. Awesome to see you. That's okay. You can go in 5. You can go in 3. It doesn't matter. Glad to see you. Glad you could pop in. Jill, I've been a Vikings fan for years. They let me down. They always do. It's the one thing you can guarantee with the Minnesota Vikings is that no matter how good they are, they're not going to win. They can have the greatest team in the NFL's history until that final game, and it's over. Oliver, good to see you, my friend, from Texas, and both quarterbacks are from Texas. You're hoping for a good game. Exactly, right? As long as it's entertaining and people have fun watching it, that's what it's all about. And this is actually not coffee, because I watch entirely too many Canadian off-grid channels. This is tea. I don't really do coffee in the afternoon. I might do a little pot of coffee at the end of the day before I go to bed because caffeine doesn't keep me awake. But I don't usually drink coffee during the day. Carol, glad to see you. Glad you can make it. Awesome to have you here. Oh, your grandpa had a hat like this? Awesome. It was actually just hanging up here, and I've worn it before, and people commented on it, so I thought I'd put it on today. Everybody's saying hi to everybody. That's one of the things that's super cool to me is just the number of people that jump in and say hi back and forth and, have met each other through live chats like this. That is super, super cool. Joseph, volunteering to come to Alaska to help with the build. Dallas can still win. All you need is heart. And dude, we're going to bring up the line from The Replacements, which was the greatest football movie that's ever been made with Gene Hackman and Keanu Reeves? Come on. I might have to watch that movie now. Alex Bell, glad you can make it. Awesome to have you here. I am fantastic. Thank you for asking. Jewish Redneck Prepper as well. Shalom. Good to see you. Lipstick Law says she's starving, having her favorite chicken, but basic pesto sauce on a chicken breast, layer it with thin sliced tomatoes, put shredded cheese on top. Nice. So I did, for dinner last night, I did chicken. And I'll have leftovers tonight. But I do what's called Bisquick chicken. And it's an old recipe that was on the back of a Bisquick box. And it's like oven fried chicken. And it is so yummy good. Takes 35 minutes in the oven. And I use chicken thighs because that's my favorite cut of chicken. It's got the most flavor, the dark meat. But, oh, man, I love that stuff. So I'll reheat that up tonight and have chicken myself. Trudy, everybody knows. Hey, with the stuff that I've done, you just missing which live you're supposed to comment on is not a big deal, and you made it to this one. It would have taken me longer to figure that out. Kaylin, good to see you. Glad you could make it. I hope you and Joe are doing well. Living off grid in Alaska. That's two of us, right? Watching rigged games that are all distraction from reality. They are. But that's what they're designed for, right? They're just to keep it's mind candy. That's like movies, right? So you get all these super blockbuster movies that everybody goes to see, and Hollywood can't figure out that, they're entertaining, so they never give them any awards. They get awards for like special effects and music and that kind of stuff. And then they have these great movies that nobody wants to watch that always win the awards. That's because it's all a distraction, and that's what we go for. We go for the distraction. When I'm watching a football game, I don't want anything involved in it but football, and maybe the occasional bad call so that I can scream at the TV and tell them they're wrong, because I want the distraction. That's all it's there for me. Did I splurge and get a commercial slot for the Sean in Alaska channel during the game tonight? I did not. It was between me and Budweiser. And I thought, they're a small up-and-coming brewery in the United States. I'd let them have that spot. So, again, like I said, a giving, kind person that I am. You call it a low underpass hat. I call it a Donegal tweed. That's what my grandfather called it. He goes, lad, you need yourself a Donegal tweed. And he gave me the cap. So, yeah. Off-Grid Homestead is asking, how cold is it up there right now? Well, actually, it's not bad. So I've got it going right down on the bottom of the ticker. It's 27 degrees outside with a wind chill of 15. But in the loft of the cabin right now, it is almost 73 degrees because I've got my loft temperature gauge. And this tells me when the propane's out and Sean has to go out and replace the bottle. Because if that number starts going down, we got a problem. And I'm keeping it warmer in there and thawing everything out. Right now, the humidity is finally down to 55% in there from the high of 71 when it started. So it's taken a few weeks, but it's working great. So yeah, it's not really too cold at all, except for that wind. That's it. I'm great. They're talking me hungry. A bit of deer backstrap. Oh, nice. Deer backstrap. Yum, yum. You guys have a great weekend. As always, thank you guys for popping in, and thanks for the great videos. Love the channel, guys. Whisper, good to see you. Glad you can make it today. Can I share the recipe for that? For what? For the Bisquick chicken? It's super easy because I never remember it, and I always have to go look it up on my phone. So just look up Bisquick, Bisquick, chicken. And it'll pop right up. The Betty Crocker page will pop right up and you get the recipe. It's basically Bisquick, paprika, salt, and pepper. That's it. And you cook it, well, and butter in the casserole dish. So you heat up the casserole dish, 425 on the oven, with the butter in there. Get the butter nice and hot. You dredge I put a little bit of water on the outside of the chicken so it'll hold more of that dusting, the batter. And I roll it around inside of a Ziploc baggie or a brown paper bag. Just shake it around so it's all fully coated and put it on skin side down. It's 30 minutes, skin side down, pull it out, turn it over, and it's 15 minutes or until the juices run clear. And it usually almost always is at the 15-minute mark for chicken thighs. So 45 minutes and it's done, and it's delicious. Oh, I will not be held responsible if you eat all of it in one sitting. Don't blame me if you get yourself some kind of stomach problems because you ate too much chicken. It is that good. Mike saying, I hope everyone has a great weekend. Weekends to be safe. Waving. The busy little house from Quebec. Good to see you. Awesome that you could join me today. Fantastic having you here. I love when I see new faces like this. This is super cool. Yeah, just got home from a fun afternoon at the shooting range. Very nice. Very fun. Kevin Wright from Mount Pleasant, Michigan. Good to see you, my friend. Glad you could make it as well. Mike at Not So Remote Alaska. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you, man. Awesome to see you. You're going to get more snow, I think, today. From what I saw, it looks like you're going to get more snow than we got. Firefly Farm, good to see you. I do too. I'm a big fan of the Budweiser. The Budweiser commercials and the horses, I just love. They've always been, since I've been a kid, they've always been the one thing that's been fun to watch. That and the for the longest time, and I don't know if they still do it now, the Doritos commercials were just hilarious. Sammy Duncan, good to see you. All is well here in Alaska, doing fantastic. Oh, so you're at the same temperature I'm at right now, 27 in Talkeetna. I don't know if you've got the wind up there that we've got. Talkeetna is beautiful. If you guys, anybody ever gets to Alaska, you need to go check out the Talkeetna area on your way up to Denali, because that is a super, super cool, pretty area. I got no wood stove updates. I had somebody, so I have a motorhome and I have this trailer. The motorhome is what I originally moved up here and lived in for like the first 5 years, and then the trailer for like the last 5. And I had somebody come over and say, "What do you want for the motorhome?" yesterday while I was working. And so I told her, because she is like this yard sale guru. She buys everything, and she's got like a huge storage area actually across the street and just down the road from me with all the stuff that she picks up. And I said, "Do you have a wood stove?" She didn't, but I would have had one. Had she had one, I would have traded that fifth wheel or that motorhome straight across for that thing. That would have been awesome. But no, nothing, no updates on it other than no matter what happens at this point, I'm not putting it in until I can do the roof, because I want the wood stove to go in and the roof to go in at the same time. So I'm not up there more than I have to be. In winter for us, I've only got a month and a half left. I'm not worried about the temperatures as far as that goes. William Strom, good to see you, my friend. I have not. If you look down at the bottom, no, I have not seen any balloons in the sky, too many clouds. I haven't even seen the sky except for this afternoon in probably 2 weeks. So haven't seen anything up here. Madhunanda from Los Angeles, good to see you. Awesome, awesome to have you here as always. Thank you very much for that, Carol. I love when people remind other people of this, because if you do hit that thumbs up, YouTube goes, "This is going on right now," and a lot of people seem to be enjoying it. So let's suggest it to other people. And it invariably, it gets somebody new to the channel, and I love that. That is super, super awesome for me. Vincenzo says the Super Bowl is very popular in the UK. It starts there at 11:30 p.m. and you're rooting for the Eagles. Nice. Nice. Very cool. Big Bear Prepper, glad to have you here. Awesome to see you, my friend. Is Sean going to put a wood stove in his cabin? Yes. When is Sean going to put a wood stove in his cabin? When he A, finds one, and B, does the roof. When I put the metal on the roof. Because like I said, I don't want to be cutting holes in that roof at all right now. It's staying dry by a wish and a prayer. And it has been staying absolutely dry in there, but I don't want to open anything up until I'm ready to close it all up in one shot. Cindy Ray, good to have you here. Awesome that you could join me today from Nikiski. Very cool. Another Alaskan, relatively close to me too. Nikiski is not far. Brian McKenzie, glad you can make it today as well from Cape Cod, Mass. Awesome. Howie at Food Forest Permaculture. Awesome to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Jerry, Canadian, better late than never. Whenever you get here, you're on time, Jerry, right? That's the way it works. Oh, Jess is losing his battery. That's why I've got mine plugged in over here, because if I lose my battery, I'm in big trouble, because then the whole thing's over, because I have to hotspot off the cell phone. Been snowing all day. Had to force yourself onto the tractor to plow the driveway. Yeah, we only got like an inch, but I've seen everything that's coming through. Looks like it's moving towards your part up there in Alaska. Looks like it's getting towards Anchorage and then hooking left and nailing you directly. So stay safe, my friend. I hope you don't get buried too much. The Vineyard Farmhouse, awesome to see you as well. Welcome today. Liz, hey, should we take a poll if Sean is going to get the wood stove? Yeah. Nice, nice. Oh, this must be the busy little house. Must be Karen. If you are, hello, Karen. Glad to put a name to the face. I always like that. 35F in South River, Ontario. Neil Hillman, welcome. Hello to everybody. I hope your weekend was great. Sean and I have went over to your videos, and I'm as blind as a bat. What are the dimensions of your cabin? 20 by 24. Neil, it's 20 feet wide by 24 feet deep. The loft is roughly, it's actually 19 feet because I have 2 by 6 walls. So the loft is 19 feet wide and 10 feet deep. Lone Wolf says, Sean, Alaska sounds like you'll be back in a week or two saying, so I got that wood stove. I wish. That would be nice. That would be nice. But I have, man, I have so many other things that are on the priority list right now. The number one priority that could actually get me close to being moved into that place, like I could probably move in, would be getting the staircase done to the loft. So once I get the stairs done to the loft, I could move a bed up there, be sleeping in there. My big issue now is I don't want to sleep downstairs. I don't want to move in there because I'll just, you have no idea how much in my own way I am every time I spend the weekend in there. And I didn't sleep in there this weekend because I only had the 2 days off. And I had the sheets of plywood that I knew we were going to be throwing to the loft. So I just skipped it this weekend. But yeah, the loft is pretty much done except for flooring on top of it, which I could do at any time. And then the next big push is the staircase to get that done. Holy smokes, Darth, you're old. Are they going to play that game in the Astrodome? Man, the Houston Oilers. Holy smokes. That would be the Tennessee Titans now, wouldn't it? Ari Hill, good to see you, my friend. Awesome as always to have you in there. And I really appreciate the comments you leave on the videos, man. Greatly, greatly appreciated. Awesome. Thank you, Alex. I appreciate that. And welcome to today's live. Sean, have you found the wood for my interior walls? Yes, I think. And it's at the orange store. I'm going to do something a little bit different with those, I think, though. And we don't want to get too deep into that. You know, I always end up giving it away in a video anyway, right? But for right now, we're going to hold off on what I'm going to do for that. What is the time on getting the material for the roof? So if I order it from the orange store, or I order it from, we'll call it the green store, which is SBS, Bernard's Builder Supply up here. SBS is like anywhere from 8 weeks to 12 weeks to 16 weeks. It's way out. The orange store, I could probably get it in 6 weeks, but we have a guy here locally that has, Todd brought over the brochure from him yesterday because Brian, one of the guys that helped with the roof, is getting a shop built, and he was over talking to him, and they're in Sterling. But his turnaround time right now is 3 days. So I'm probably going to go with him. Just it really won't matter to me the price because his color selection is awesome. He's got the color I'm looking for, and his variety of sizes is fantastic, and I could get a quick turnaround time. So I'm probably going to go locally with him. That, and he's local, obviously, so that would help. Jules, welcome from Hobart, Tasmania. Very cool. Oh, that is awesome. That is pretty awesome. I'm not going to lie. Want to take the pipe out at end wall, and well, I could do that, right? If I could take the pipe right out, because where the wood stove is going to sit, I've decided is going to be on that very front wall with the window and the door. So the door's here, right? And the window's over here, and that wood stove is going to sit pretty much in the middle of the building. So I could take it out the side. I saw Jen did that, or Jay did that on his wood stove. Take it out the side and run it up. Yeah, I'm still, I don't know enough about wood stoves yet, so I'm still on the fence about where I'm going to go with that. But I'm not, again, I don't have one here, and I don't have one like in the very near future that I already know I'm going to get. So it's not a 911 for me yet. It'll be more of a serious issue coming around July and August if I don't have one, because then I'll be maybe looking at actually having to buy a new one, which I really don't want to do. Destiny, good to see you. Awesome you can make it today. I don't know. I don't know if the fridge is going to be propane or not. I would like to get one, but they're pretty expensive for me to buy a unique propane fridge. And I want a full-size refrigerator freezer. So for me to buy a unique one, we're looking at like $2,000 here in Alaska. So I don't know if I'm going to go that route or not, or if I'm going to just do a temporary RV propane fridge in there to begin with. I could go that route if I want as well. I haven't, or if I'm going to go with a brand new, orange store, because that's where we get most of our appliances here, a brand new orange store stove, because the power draw on them is actually not as bad as many people would think. And that though would make the battery bank that I have to build for the cabin much more expensive, but it would also be a lot easier just to be able to plug that thing in. I don't know yet. I haven't made that decision on it yet. I need a unique classic stove, right? Oh. And again, so I'm just looking on the Orange Store because they actually sell them on at the Orange Store, and I'm looking on their online pages. They're beautiful. They are gorgeous. I would just totally be in seventh heaven with one of those stoves. So if anybody wants to donate one of those stoves, I can be found here in Alaska. PJ Panda, good to see you. Awesome, awesome to have you here. I have a test for your carpentry skills. When the build is done, make a triangle dresser that you can fit into the angle of the loft so you can use the space. Okay, so I'm not going to do a triangle dresser because um, my cabinetry skills are non-existent. I've never tried to build a cabinet before in my life. But what I am going to do is I am going to close in. So as you're looking from downstairs, upstairs to the loft, I'm going to close in more than likely more than likely the right side, but I might do something on the right and the left side where I'm going to build in dressers on one side, and the other side I'm going to build in a closet for anything I have to hang. So those are in the plan, but man, I don't know. I don't know that I could build a regular dresser, let alone a triangular one. Cedar, I've actually said that before. So cedar is going to be in the bathroom. So the bathroom will be totally lined with cedar on the inside. A, because of its water resilience and resistance to rot, and B, because it smells so good. So yeah, the bathroom will be lined in cedar. Minto the cabin before I'm done. You'll have to explain to me what that is because I'm not familiar with that term. Kevin says, cabin's looking great. You made those sections just right and space out too. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I greatly appreciate it. That's awesome. And I'll point out a few things in next week's video that happened because of the way I built the walls for the bathroom, and the pantry and that kitchen wall. It changed a few things in the plan that made it super, super awesome that I did not expect. So I'll show those to you in next week's video. Yeah, so for me to get the range hood, the DC, the 12-volt range hood, super cheap. I can pick one up for under $100 brand new. And that's the route I'm probably going to go. But the DC, the 12-volt DC / propane fridge is way expensive here, way expensive in the States. But that doesn't mean that I'm not going to do something like that down the road. It just keeps changing as I go. Originally, I was going to wire the whole thing. And then I said, you know what? I'm not going to do that. And I saw that Jeremy and Ashley made the same call. I think they're making the call was what drove me to making the call. I don't have it now. I don't need it. And I don't want it. So it changes every single day. But it's fun because I can make those changes and know that I made them because I wanted to. Jerry says, you like the side option. That's how he did it at his place before. It worked out, easy to clean too. Yep. Morton from Norway. Glad you could make it, my friend. Awesome to have you here. Another great, every time I put a video out, he'll comment with a thumbs up, the flag of Norway. It's super awesome. I love that when I get to see people in here that comment on the videos. To me, that's super, super cool. Brook Trout 1, greetings from kind of cool upper 70s, Venice, Florida. Nice. Yeah, it's a bit chilly for you if it's only the upper 70s. I'll never understand that, man. I can never get used to being that warm all the time. The humidity, too, has got to be sometimes brutal. Yeah, right? The outside clean out. And that's something that has got me looking in both directions. It's a lot easier to clean your chimney if you're going outside and up, as opposed to trying to climb on the roof and run something down, because anytime I have to go on a roof, it's just trouble waiting to happen. Am I going to paint or stain the outside of your cabin? Yes, I am going to paint or stain the outside of the cabin. As it stands now, I still don't know what the outside is going to be, but one way or the other, if it's wood, or it's going to be wood no matter what, I will either paint or stain it. I don't know enough about how to do that yet. So I'm still teaching myself some different stuff, and we'll do some test batches to see what color I like and how it works out. But I do plan on making it. I want it to fit in. If I don't paint or stain it, I'll do like the chicken coop, right? Where it's going to age a bit, and then I'll seal it so that you get some color on the wood before I close it up. So it's best to have your chimney strength rather than having any bends. I know. There's that part as well, right, Mike? There's the part of having any bends in it at all gives restriction to the draft. But I don't know. We'll see what I'm going to do. I'm not sold one way or the other on it. Steve, awesome to have you here. Good to see you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Jillian, morning. Good to see you. Awesome to have you here today from New Zealand. Yeah, Matt, right? The one I looked at was that I really, really liked was $1,600. Nice, nice. Your fridge and stove were included in your tiny house. Yep. My builder didn't include that in mine. I'm going to have a talk with him after today's live and find out why I didn't have a stove and a fridge included in my build. I feel cheated. Darth, join the dark side for unlimited power. I was going to join the dark side because somebody told me they had cookies. Derek, good to see you as well. Awesome to have you here, my friend, from the Adirondack region in New York. Last week we set a record on Whiteface Mountain, minus 40.2 with a wind chill of minus 91. That's chilly. That's stay inside weather. I'm not going outside and playing in that. That's crazy. That is nuts. I like PJ Panda comment about building specific storage areas. Right. And that, so if you're not really familiar with the pitch of my roof, at about 6 feet out from the walls, I can stand straight up. It's a 9 and 12 pitch. It's a pretty steep pitch, but all that space there is wasted. So I'm going to turn all of that into storage space because you never have enough storage space, right? Especially here for the different seasons and stuff that you need to have that you don't use. Obviously, there's stuff I don't use in the summer and there's stuff I don't use in the winter at all. And in spring and fall, you can kind of mesh those together. But I'm going to use the corners where they come down for storage space, which is another reason why the staircase idea might have changed a bit. Built a house, Sean? Right? Yeah, exactly. I built a house and I don't know what I'm going to decide yet. And it could change the day I do it, right? It's like the staircase. And a little history behind it. The plan is that I was going to run it up that one wall on the left-hand side, which is my northeast. I don't know. Anyway, the wall over there. And I was going to run it up there and then store all my electronics and everything for power underneath that, and then run all my power up through the flooring of the loft so that everything was hidden when it was all said and done. But that is probably going to change now too. And that was just today, this morning. I looked and I went, I might have to do something different here. So it changes on a regular basis until it's done. And it doesn't change at that point until I change it again down the road. But I'm having a blast. And to me, that's the most fun about this is I didn't know if I could do it. I thought I could do it. I have done it. And now I want to keep doing it. So it's awesome. I love every part of it. Neil says, I'm watching a lot of cabin builds of people who move in before it. Yeah, right. They get stumbled. And so for me, for those that don't know, the reason why I'm not there, I kind of said already, Neil had pointed out to that, is that you get in your way and you can't get anything done and it gets frustrating. You're moving stuff 5 and 6 times just to do one thing. It's super frustrating. But I'm only going to do inside stuff pretty much in the winter because when summer hits, I need to get all the outside stuff done because I can't do it in the winter. So it'll be a seasonal transition back and forth to working inside and working outside. I have plans for a huge garden this year. I have plans for a bigger chicken coop from the ground up so that I can walk in there and clean it because it's a pain cleaning this chicken coop design that I have. It's worked, but it's a pain. And speaking of chickens, let me hide that. And I'm going to pull Wendy up and say, hi, Wendy, because it doesn't cover the whole screen. Look what my chickens are doing for me right now, huh? So this was yesterday and today, started laying again, but I also found no baby egg. So I don't know where that one came from, but this one was yesterday along with one of these. But the chickens have started laying again, which is good. And all the reds and the black Australorps are getting along fantastically together now. Every time I go out there, they're all outside together. They're all playing. Everybody's all feathered in and doing great. But I started getting eggs, which is a good sign because we're getting more daylight. And that's the main thing for chickens. Scrolling through here. Everybody saying hi to everybody again. Leslie, Lindsay, good to see you, my friend. Don't worry about being late, man. Right, what time is it? We got like 15 minutes left, and I will cut it off at exactly an hour today, so you guys can go get ready and do whatever you got to do before the game. I have to make dip, my famous Lipton onion soup sour cream dip, because I'm going to do that with chicken. So I'm dips and chicken tonight for the game. Madunanda wants to know, will I ever extend the cabin? I already have plans of throwing a bedroom downstairs off the right side wall. So as you're looking at the front of the cabin towards the chicken coop, I'm going to throw a 10-foot by 10-foot bedroom on there because as I get older, I'm not going to want to keep walking up and down stairs to get to the bedroom. So yes, I am going to expand the cabin. The bedroom is the first thing that I'm planning on expanding. And that won't happen this year. It probably won't happen for a year, for another, maybe next year. It might happen. We'll have to see. But I will expand onto it. Workershare Project Off Grid. Awesome to have you here. Very cool. Welcome. See if I can say this right. Bathsheba Sarah Gamorin. Welcome. Sarah from Florida. Awesome to have you here. Minimalist living is winning. You know, there's a lot to be said for that. So before I moved up here, I got rid of everything because I knew I'd be living in a motorhome and I knew I didn't have the space for it. Then I moved onto this trailer and I've picked up quite a bit of stuff since being in this trailer. I mean, it's got more stuff in it than it should have. But I purposely won't buy stuff now because I don't need it. If it doesn't have multiple purposes and multiple uses, there's no reason for me to have it. And I've found that that's true. I really don't need a lot of stuff. I don't need half as much as I thought I needed before. My life is less cluttered because of that. So that's a great statement right there. That is a great statement. Alex, my concern about chimney pipe on the AK roof is a potentially thick and heavy snowpack, which can cover damaged pipes. So you should have your pipe high enough and snow diverter installed. Yes. But the roof sheds very well. And if it ever were to become an issue, I would just pull the snow off the roof. I mean, I could run a pole up and pull snow down if I ever had that much of a load on there. So I'm not as much worried about that as I am worried about the height of the chimney pipe, which in fact must be over the peak of the roof to get the decent draw that you're supposed to have. So where I'm planning on putting my stove, where it's going to come out on the roof because of where it's located, if I just were to go straight up, would almost be at the peak of the roof. So like the peak would be literally, the peak would be right here. My pipe would come out like right here. So there wouldn't be that much snow buildup or worry about snow sliding and taking out the pipe at all because it'll be right up at the top. Why am I changing the stair location? I am and I'm not. I'm changing the design of it, and it's because of headroom when I get to the top of the stairs. I did not plan that properly. Nobody told me. I didn't know. I didn't see a YouTube video on it. When I get to the top of the stairs now, and I looked at this today when I was sitting up there. My stairs are going to be 3 feet, anywhere from 36 to 42 inches wide. I haven't decided on the width yet, but now it's probably going to be 36. You can't stand up. When you get to the top of the stairs, your roof hits the ceiling before you get to the top of the stairs. And I literally, if I'm bent over, I'm still not bent. I would have to I think at this point, get to my knees and crawl the last part of the staircase. So that's not going to work for me. So I have to figure something different. Yes, an A-frame greenhouse would work up here. The only problem is you're not going to grow anything in the winter anyway, unless you heat it and light it. You're not really going to be able to grow anything in the winter up here. There are places that do. I think they do at outside of Fairbanks, Chena Hot Springs, but they use geothermal to keep everything warm. So their heating costs are nominal because they are in a geothermal area. But if you're going to build up here, I wouldn't do an A-frame because your peaks are going to have to be way, way too high if you want to build a greenhouse of any size. Do what Simple Living Alaska did and build yourself a hoop house, because that's my plans. A high tunnel, because you can get a lot more usable space in it and your roof's not as high. And just make sure that you keep the snow off the top of the high tunnel or it will collapse it. It will collapse it up here. But that's the route I'm going to go. Right? Little baby fairy egg. It's very cool. It's very cute. Mary, awesome to see you. Awesome to see you today. Exactly. Do all you can while you can. Joseph, two eggs a year had enough. I eat eggs every day, man. Every day. If I'm not eating fried eggs, I'm eating hard boiled eggs every single day. I love them. Yvonne, good to see you. Awesome you could pop in. Ducks in an incubator. Wow, nice. I can't do an incubator here because of power. So power constraints would stop me from doing that. So the chickens are going to have to do it on their own, which is kind of why I'm glad I got a rooster this year. It'll be interesting to see if we end up with any baby chicks at any time during the year. That would be kind of fun to see if, because they'd make it on their own then. Sean, which way does the cabin face? Front door, does it open to the south? No. The right side of the cabin is south, is the south side of the cabin. The back is the, wait, yeah. The way I have it, it's kind of south. It's hard to describe. It's kind of off south on the right side of the cabin, which would make right, south, north, east, west. So the front of the cabin is like west, southwest. But yeah, exactly. It's kind of tweaked, but in Alaska, it doesn't make that much difference because the sun comes up during the summer, right? It comes up over there, and then it goes 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 over there, and it doesn't really set. I mean, I'm going to get 20 hours of sunlight, so it's a bigger issue in the winter, and I have it so that the bedroom window shows most of the sun during the winter. Out through the bedroom window. So at least you'll get some natural light in through those windows upstairs all winter long. Awesome. Perfect. I like it. My ladies never stopped laying all winter. It's been great, and we haven't had to heat it all the winter. So mine went into molt. I talked about that. And then I had the two groups. I think the blacks, Australorps, have kept laying. But I haven't been able to get in there and collect their eggs because I didn't want to open up the box that they're in. It's pretty well sealed right now, but that'll all be gone when I get the new coop built. But the reds stopped laying because they went into that heavy molt, and the stress on them was just way too much. Chickens are fun. You'll enjoy them. Chickens are a lot of fun. You'll have a ton of fun with them. I agree, Destiny. Quality is more important than quantity. Ugh, Jillian, 3 moving trucks. Way too much stuff. But you got kids, and they come with lots of stuff, right? They come with lots of stuff. So it's been shining all day. Our big solar battery has been full for 3 hours. We just used, nice. Very cool. Very cool. You don't much, but you'll have to make sure you have enough. Yeah, I will have plenty of baking pans and utensils. Definitely. Yes, Ward, you can. Yes, you can. Ward nailed it. But Ward knew it, I think, going in, that my plan was not going to work. But he always lets me figure those out for myself. Natasha, awesome to see you. Glad you can make it. Yeah, I kind of have an idea of what I'm going to do for the flooring. I'm going to do wood planks. But we'll get more into that. I think I'm going to match the width of the flooring with the width of the ceiling. And then I'm going to change what I'm doing on the walls so that it's not one clustered space, so that it has a transition all the way around. That's kind of my plan in my head right now, but I have a pretty good idea what I'm going to do for the floor. Sean, any moisture buildup with the Buddy heater? We use a Wave 6 LP as it's a bit drier catalytic. I don't have a dehumidifier, but yes, there is moisture buildup anytime you use propane. And that's, I should say, anytime you use open burning, non-vented propane. So I use a Buddy heater. A lot of people get really worked up when they see me running it inside, but they are designed to be worked inside, and they are inside safe. They have an O2 sensor and everything. But the byproduct of burning propane on an open flame is moisture. Water is part of the byproduct. So yes, the humidity goes up. Yes, the moisture goes up. But that was a permanent solution for the trailer, and a temporary solution for the cabin. Because the small amount of moisture that it's adding is still reducing the overall moisture in the cabin. So, and to give you an example, this Buddy heater that's on my table behind me over here, that's running all the time, 24/7. The humidity in the trailer right now, is 17% humidity in here. And that's because it's a trailer and it's not sealed with beans. I mean, wind rolls through here still. But that 17% humidity is 100% caused by that buddy heater. Um, a kerosene heater actually puts out more humidity than that does. And a diesel heater puts out less. But if I'm using a vented heater, it will put out even less because the vented heater actually just heats the outside air as it comes in, and there's no open, and it exits out without the open combustion inside. It's way above my pay grade and mental status, but I get a lot of humidity from it. Patty, awesome to see you. Good you can make it today. See you, Ward. Have a good day. Thank you, Joseph. As always, if you guys hit the thumbs up button, YouTube goes, hey, maybe this guy's worth watching. We'll suggest him to other people, and I greatly appreciate it. Yes, sir, I do. I live alone. Just me and the chickens and the occasional bear and the quite often moose, and live by myself. That makes sense. I didn't think of that either. How about the front of the pantry with a side entry door access to the pantry? The pantry is going to have a front. The pantry and bathroom are going to share a common door, and that'll become more understandable as I get to that point. But I'm going to put it on the barn track above. So when somebody's in the bathroom, obviously they slide the door over, so they can have their privacy. And when they're not, the door will be open so that the bathroom stays warm, and it'll be slid over the pantry. So yeah, it'll definitely it'll serve a dual purpose. I think that's going to be the easiest way that I can do it, is to have it slide between the two because they're right next to each other, and they're both 30-inch doors. So being the same size, one door will cover either one perfectly well. No, there was. I actually had to buy some eggs, but I think that's over now, and I'm pretty happy about that. Sean, do you have enough eggs to water glass preserve? I do, as they get heavier into land. But to be honest with you, I sell all of my egg overages to pay for all of the feed for the chickens. So from April through October, I never buy their feed. And this year I should make even more with the extra birds that I have to compensate their feed costs through winter as well. So my goal is to make them fully sustainable financially and give me enough eggs to eat. So the water glassing maybe sometime down the road, but that's not something I'm looking at right now. You can also take plastic off the high tunnel in the fall. Exactly. Right. Yeah. You could roll it up and get it off of there so it doesn't run the risk of being collapsed. It will mess it up a bit, but not that much. There's going to be there's so much more. I mean, if you watch last week's live, or if you've seen any of my live, just watch 5 minutes of a previous live from inside the cabin and see how much more room I have in there than I do in here. It's going to be night and day. It's going to be so awesome. I'm looking so forward to it. I love this. Hobbies: clutter, major interest, knitting, sewing, painting, baking, cooking. Madhu, you know what? I haven't done a cooking video in a while, and mainly it's because it's such a hassle to get a good shot with the camera while I'm trying to cook in that super tiny kitchen. But I will do something. Not this week, but I'll do something in the next couple of weeks where I'll throw it in the middle of a video so you guys can see me trying to cook in this kitchen. I should do that chicken again because it was super delicious and it's super easy to make. And then I could give everybody the recipe in one shot on there. But yeah, I'll definitely do something on there. Vincenza, Sean, have you thought about a wood cook stove? I have. The problem with that is and I've actually lived in a cabin at about 6,000 feet in the Sierra Nevadas that had one. And when it's a nice June summer day and you want to cook something in your stove inside as opposed to throwing something on the grill, you cook yourself out of the house. So I'm not going to probably go down that road. That, and they're not really wood efficient. Even the new ones, they're designed to heat to cook food. They're not designed to heat to keep your house warm, if that makes sense. So I probably won't go that route. They're beautiful though. They are gorgeous. How do I get water? For now, I haul water from a friend's house. So Todd lives across the street. He's got an artesian well. He said, come on by and get water anytime you want. But generally right now I swing by Brother Will's place. My buddy Will, that's where I lived in the motorhome to begin with. I swing by his place and fill it up, and I get it in these 7-gallon blue totes. You can kind of see one over my shoulder. over there. And I during the winter I only fill up one at a time because if I put them on the floor they freeze. During the summer I keep them both filled up, but I'll have a tank in the pantry so I can have some running water in the trailer. Yeah, it will be. It's just right now it's been so hectic, and it just frustrates me when I get hectic trying to get everything done. But I would love to do that. That would be a ton of fun, man. That would be a ton of fun. Oh, awesome! She's neat. She's a neat lady. I followed her uh, uh, alone in remote Alaska, and I followed her right after I think she got started, and she does some neat videos. She does some neat stuff, and she seems. I would like to meet her because she seems like a really nice person. Yeah, but Alan, if I'm trying to avoid buying flooring because buying flooring by the square foot is a lot more expensive than building flooring out of dimensional lumber. And I like what I can get out of my plan in my head for dimensional lumber for flooring. We are getting close to the end, guys, and I said I was going to cut this in an hour, so I'm running through here real quick. And if I missed your comment, do me a favor and leave it underneath this video after the live is over, so that I can come back and answer it, or come back and join me next week, and I'll try and answer your comments right at the end, or right at the beginning of the live, so that I can make sure I get everybody. But I want to thank everybody for joining me today. Awesome, guys, so cool. It is nice to have Cabin Talk. I like your guys' lives too. They go live too, and they're a ton of fun. If you are not subscribed to some of these channels in here, Off Grid with Jay and Jen, you really want to subscribe to them because they're a ton of fun. Jess at Rain Dance Bushcraft, Russell at Raspberry Rock Off Grid, Jeremy and Ashley at Mapleberry Farms Off Grid, Mike at Alone in Alaska. Definitely check those channels out. Definitely, by all means. And Anthony Jester, awesome to see you, brother. That's going to be about it. Far North Home and Fisa, good to see you as well. I'm about to run out here, guys. Have a fantastic weekend. We've been on here for an hour. If you're going to watch the game, I hope your team wins, whichever team it may be. And I hope you have a great time spending it with family and friends, or just watching it alone. I know I will. I'll talk to you guys later on. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thanks for the thumbs up in the comments. I'm Sean in Alaska, and I'm going to get out of here because the game's coming up in less than a half an hour. See you guys. Bye-bye.